In this video, I will show you how to change the text of the form's title and how to rename controls. So first of all, let's start a new project. Make sure it's Visual C#, and I'll call it Renaming Demo. And click OK. Once your form pops up, you can just start typing, because as soon as you start typing, it'll go to this text control property. So I can call it Renaming Demo, and that's how easy it is to change the text of the title bar for the form. Let's add a couple of labels to our form. So I select it, I press enter, and that adds one control label. I select it again and press enter, and that adds another control label. Now I don't change labels, I don't rename labels that are not going to change during the execution of the program. So for the text of label 1, I am going to put number 1, and for the text of label 2, I am going to change that to number 2. Now that's just the text property. I did not notice I have not changed the name of the control. This control is still label 1, and this control is still label 2. Because when I execute this program, I am not going to change these. I'm not going to change the text, so I just keep them as they are. So next I'm going to add a couple of text boxes. So I add my first text box, I add my second text box, and now I got one text box called text box 1, and I got another text box called text box 2. Now, because I want the user to enter data in there, I am going to change the name of this control. Now the easiest thing to do is, since we want to know what type of control it is, I'll just change the I'll just delete number 1 and say text box number 1. Text box number 1. So this control is now text box number 1. The second control is text box 2, so I just call it text box number 2. And now I'm going to add a button. Now I am going to call this button, instead of button 1, I'll just delete the 1 and I'll call it button add, because I'm going to add those two numbers. And for the text of the button, I'm going to say, instead of button 1, I'm going to change that property to add. So now I'm going to write the code that adds whatever the user types into these two text boxes. So I double click add. Now the code, first I got to create a couple of integers. I'm going to call one num1 and the other one num2. And I'm going to assign to num1, it's going to be integer, int dot parse, which means convert. So I'm going to convert num1 dot text. Oh, I'm sorry. Not num1. It's going to be text box number 1 dot text. There we go. So it's going to convert the text of text box number 1 to an integer and assign it to num1. I'm going to do the same thing with num2. So num2 is equal to int dot parse. So this time I'm going to make sure that it's text box number 2, and you can tab dot text and then I'm gonna create an integer called sum and say that sum is equal to num1 comma num2. Oops. Num1 plus num2. And I'm going to display the result in a message box. So message box dot show. So I'll say sum dot toString because I have to convert it back to a string. So I'm going to convert this integer called sum to a string so I can display it in the message box. So when I run my program and I type in a couple of values, I click 15. Okay. So in this video I have shown you how to change the title bar and how to rename your controls.